It is a true fact. Your eardrums are on hinges. Hello and welcome. I am your host, Elizibar, and you can see my last unboxing right there. King Cryptid, issues 5 through 9, or 8 or something. Nope, there's 9. It was hiding. 9 is shy. Plus his cool little art book. Make your own 5-minute sketch. That's fun, man. Yeah, there you go. Jubilation Lee right there by Peter Samedi. Looks great. This is the third week in a row, XLG. Where have you been, bro? Hi. This is like the third week in a row I've streamed on Twitch on Wednesday. Have you not noticed? Have you... Oh, you've been sleeping. That certainly explains it. That sure explains it. Got my Totoro bag right here. Filled with what kind of wonderful goodies? I don't even know. Although I'm once again reminded that I need to get an envelope for this year's receipts. I can store them all up. I didn't even look to see what books were coming out this week. I just showed up at the store. That's where I'm at in my life. That is where I am at. Hope you all are doing great out there on this beautiful, well, I hope it's beautiful where you're at, this beautiful Wednesday night. It is a little snowy outside, much to my dismay. But I guess that's okay. The weather is not beholden to me. Not at all. So anyway, if you haven't checked out this unboxing video for this stuff, you know, maybe you wanna go do that. And hey, you should watch that review of that Pee Wee Herman biography comic. That book was absolutely wild. The caricaturing in it, the cartooning, was absolutely superb. Now, this is Wednesday night, aka New Comic Book Day, or New Comic Book Night, I guess, really, because it's nighttime. We're listening to Streets of Rogue soundtrack. Streets of Rogue? Streets of Rogue soundtrack. And I get my comic books at Graham Cracker Comics. And when you go into a Graham Cracker Comics on a Wednesday, man, there's like just little paper bits everywhere. You go into a Graham Cracker Comics on a Wednesday, you get not one, not two, but 3 books for free out of the dollar bit, which used to be the 75-cent bin, which used to be the 50-cent bin. Inflation is killing us all. And I was super, very extra omega happy with what I saw waiting for me. That's right, man. New Warriors. If you've been hanging around this channel for a while, you'll know I say good things about the New Warriors, man. I really dug this stuff. Like in 1991, 1992, I was super into the New Warriors. Probably more on the 91 and 92 side than the 93 side, but you get the point, right? You get the point. Like these guys were my jam. I like the X-Men, I like Spider-Man, I like these guys. And speaking of X-Men, there's Cable, Shatterstar over there. This book looks wild. We opened up to a gigantic, chaotic, crazy fight scene. Like, what more can you possibly want in your comic book, right? This kind of dates back to the point in time when comic book companies would be like, oh man, people are really digging this. You know, we should produce more of it. And so instead of producing like 13 issues a year, they'd produce 12 issues and then an annual. And the annual would usually be, well, not usually. Often the annual would be like stories that somebody had made that were intended to be filler if somebody else's story didn't get done on time. It was a way to give lesser known writers and artists a space to produce some material, that kind of thing. Not always, but often that's what annuals ended up being. And for the reader, for the fan, an annual is a chance to get more of what they liked. Look at this comic book ad over here. Hot comics. Let's see what's on the hot comic list. I can barely read that font. Spider-Man, Sleepwalker, What Ifs, Wolverine. Yeah, this is all the kind of stuff I would expect to be hot comics. I don't know about those particular issues off the top of my head, but like the series? What's the plural of series? It's just series, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. The plural of series is probably series. So this is serious. Like, these are the kind of books you'd expect, man. This is all... Well, maybe not all. Mostly this is pretty popular, like... Yeah, there's Deadly Foes of Spider-Man. I got some of those. Terminator 1 and 2. And 3 and 4. Check that out. I didn't actually expect to see Terminator on this list, but maybe I shouldn't be surprised. The ads in these kind of books are always just like a wonderful time capsule into how things used to be. Dude, look at Speedball. I never really understood that guy's powers, but he made a lot more sense as Speedball than he did as Penance. You know? Alright. So, say multiple stories. Remember I was saying like material that was intended to be like a filler story, that kind of stuff? Look at that. There you go. Oh, sorry, just whacked the microphone. I was taking a little drink. NBA's jamming on the Game Boy. Oh, is that NBA Jam for the Game Boy? Oh no, LJN. LJN. You know, some of the most fun I ever had playing a basketball game was actually NBA Jam on the Super Nintendo. Boom shakalaka. Good stuff. And then you're like, okay, cool. Yeah, I get it, Elizibar. I get it. You're all just like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, well, boom! You didn't expect a second New Warrior book, did you? No. No, you did not. Well, guess what I got? I got a second New Warrior book. A second New Warrior annual. I already had annual number 2. So now I've got annual 1 and annual 3. And kind of like before, look at this. It's crazy stuff. I don't even recognize this villain they're fighting. Like, we're going to call him Red Eye Man. Rob Dibble believes a fastball is the only pitch worth throwing. And Team Pinnacle is the only subset worth collecting. Oh, man. Dude. Trading cards went through the same thing that comic books went through just like 5 years earlier. So they decided, like, in the early 90s, instead of being like how they used to be, you know, you'd pay like a quarter and you get a pack of like 15 cards and there'd be a stick of gum in there, a super lowbrow. Dude, he is getting the heck punched out of him. They were super lowbrow, right? And then you get to the early 90s and Fleer, Upper Deck, Score, Tops, everybody was just like, yo, what if we made the cards super duper slick looking, put like nice shiny gloss wax on and all kinds of stuff like that, and then we'll give people like 8 cards for $2. And as somebody who was into baseball cards, hey, look at Rage back there. Somebody who's into like baseball cards and stuff, man, like that hurt. Like you could not just impulse buy them anymore. Comic books did kind of the same thing a few years later. Oh, hey, look at this ad for Rifts over here. Comic books did the same thing a few years later. They actually kind of concurrently, but mostly a few years later, because comic books were like, okay, it's like when I was a kid, it's like $1 and you get a comic book. Then like 1993 rolls around, and suddenly it's like $3 for a comic book. Now, of course, I'm talking about like Image stuff here. Like I'm looking over at you, Rob Liefeld. I'm looking at, you know, all those guys, and their books were more expensive. Made it kind of hard to be able to collect that stuff. Ooh, dude! Whoever drew the Spider-Man did the full Todd McFarlane on the webbing. Hold on, I'm picking this book up for a second so I can look at it at a better angle. there a credits page for that story? Sorry, I'm just like flipping through the book. Oh, hey, there's Dagger. She's super relevant because she's in Marvel Rivals. A little different costume, but same character. Oh, is the villain here like Cloak that's gone mad or something? Because that would be awesome. No, that's not a sub-story. There must just be one big story here. The Unbearable Darkness of Being is the name of this story. Here we go. Written by Fabian Nicieza, penciled by Derek Robertson and Chris Marinan. Dude, I don't know your all's work, but that Spider-Man little noodly, super boodly boo webbing. Excellent looking, man. Todd McFarlane made that stuff look so good in the 80s. And it always feels good to come back and see some other artist doing the spider webs like he did. This is a really cool explosion over here. She's also shooting lasers out of her eyes for some reason. I don't know what's up with that. Oh, looks like the Discord notification about the stream just went through. That's pretty cool. Hello, people who are clicking over from Discord. All 2 of you. My dudes. And hey, those of you who are watching this on instant replay over on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to hit that like button down below somewhere here, you know? They tell me it really helps. Oh! He looked kind of like, a zombie. Nice drawing on the right. Yeah, that was. I really like the inking on these pages. Cool stuff. Alright, so now I own New Warriors Annual number 1. I got number 2 in a box, and I got number 3 right here. This has been a good day, man. I am eating this stuff up with a spoon. Hey! Laffy Taffy is searching for America's Funniest Kids. Enter the Laffy Taffy 2nd Annual National Joke Contest. It's easy to enter. Just call 1-800-50-LAFFY. Line open 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. CDT beginning 4/1/94 for the first 5,000 callers. There you go. A random number of jokes will be selected for judging. Check that out. As not an American, I don't think you can enter XLG, but that's okay. So now what could the next book be? If you said The New Warriors issue number 4 annual, you would be correct. I know somebody out there is like, this guy's going to whip out another New Warriors annual. You are correct, person who knew that I was going to do that. Welcome to the issue where Psionics shows up. I guess this is the first time they showed up. I got some other books with them. Not Psionics, look at that. Oh. Yeah, we're gonna pin that until I manually unpin it. There you go. You are now immortalized in the Twitch chat until Twitch deletes the chat, whenever that happens. I don't actually remember Psionics that much. I know I got some other books with them in it, and whatever. But it's just fun, man. Oh, boy, that spine of the book didn't want me to open that up. Oh, look at Captain Crunch right there. The only berries with Captain's Crunch. That's right. You know, sometimes you need a twig to go with those berries. So they tell me. 50% off sale. Look at that. Chewy Runts. Why would you do that? That's an abomination. You know, they still make those, I think. Oh, look at dude on the left over here. That's just a wild looking panel. You have any idea what kind of pain I've been in? Ever since I returned here after the incident with Terrax. Hey, get over it, dude. You're in a comic book. This is so 90s. Nerd jock. Ominous Batman kind of guy. Goth girl. Like, that's it. That's what they are. Nerd jock, ominous Batman guy, goth girl. Their powers. He has the powers of both a nerd and a jock. Vengeance. I am the knight. And she's a goth girl. With a whip even. With a whip! Goth girl, dominatrix. You don't get much more 90s than that team lineup, except they need a dude who takes up space in the back so they don't have to draw backgrounds. That's the only thing this group is missing. They needed the fourth really huge guy. Like, you know, pretty typical example, strong guy, right? Look, Guido here, like, here, this is a pretty typical example of a character whose main reason for existence is that he takes up space so that you don't need to draw backgrounds. That's a genre of superhero character that Rob Liefeld, like, specialized in making a thing. Night Thrasher looking super cool. I like that guy, man. Skateboard Batman. Look at Goth Girl. Oh, there he is! There is the guy. We were just talking. Way to flip the book the wrong way, bro. We were just talking about how they needed, like, a dude in the background to take up space, right? There he is. Ice Spiky Dude. It is new clickbait drawings, my dude. Indeed. Ice Spiky Dude right back there, taking up space so they don't have to draw the background. And I guess on the New Warriors, Rage at this point is kind of filling that job. Although I don't remember Rage being quite that big. But somewhere I got a great issue of, I think it's an Avengers book, where Rage gets kicked out of the Avengers because they discover he's 15 or 16 or something. Like, he's not an adult yet. And Captain America's like, kid, you can't be in the club because you're a kid. I don't want to be responsible for you getting shot in the face. And he's like, but I'm a superhero, Cap. I have now run out of beverage. This is officially the worst new comic book day ever because the label was not on the bottle. So, you know, I just kind of had to guess at what I was drinking. Fortunately, I guessed right. Anyway, that is what we got out of the dollar bin. 3 New Warrior annuals, man. I saw these. They were all side by side right next to each other. Number 2 was even in there, but I already had number 2, so that's okay. Really fun. Get some stuff I know I'm going to at least enjoy a little bit. Yep. Goth Girl Dominatrix. Like, what the heck? You know, you can look at these guys and you can kind of see, like, to some extent, they're just like evil versions of the New Warriors, right? Like, you look at them and it's kind of like, yeah, I see like some resemblances. Like, instead of Firestar, or that's her name, right? Firestar? I think so. We got like Ice Guy. Instead of Night Thrasher, we got this guy. Kind of interesting how that worked out. I'm sure that was a design decision. You know, every hero needs a nemesis, right? Man, that is one of the things that I found really weak about a lot of the Marvel movies that came out circa like 2014, like up until the newer stuff that I stopped paying attention to. Like, go watch the original Ant-Man. What's the villain? A guy with an Ant-Man suit. Watch Iron Man. Who's the villain? A guy with an Iron Man suit. Watch Iron Man 2. Who's the villain? A guy with an Iron Man suit. Essentially, I mean, it's Whiplash, so not exactly, but it's still like Iron Man technology. At least Iron Man 3 didn't just stick another guy in a super suit. Although I have some problems with Iron Man 3, but I also kind of like Iron Man 3 too. Which, isn't it a Christmas movie? Doesn't it take place like over Christmas when he's in that small town? So Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie, just like Die Hard. Oh my gosh, you want to get your mind blown? You want to get your mind blown? Hold on. I'm gonna blow your all's minds. You're not gonna believe me, okay? You've seen Die Hard, right? We were just talking about it, right? You have seen Die Hard, Bruce Willis action film. Really great movie. Ode to Joy. I'm just a cop from New York. Like you've seen Die Hard. Okay? Did you know? Hans Gruber going out the window. Yeah. Did you know Die Hard is a sequel? I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. Die Hard is a sequel. Die Hard is actually a sequel to the 1968 Frank Sinatra film, The Detective. They filed off the serial numbers. So, this is based on a novel. Die Hard is based on the sequel novel. Frank Sinatra in the 80s had first dibs on playing the main character in Die Hard. And he's like, dude, I'm 70. I can't be in an action movie at this point. So, when he decided not to be in the movie, they changed the detective's name in Die Hard. But it's essentially the same thing. They just filed off the serial numbers. Legacy. In 1979, Roderick Thorpe wrote a sequel to his novel, The Detective, called Nothing Lasts Forever, in which Leland, or John McClane, is trapped in the Claxon Oil Corporation skyscraper, aka Nakatomi Plaza, after it's taken over by German terrorists and must rescue his daughter and grandchildren, or in the movie, his wife. The novel was adapted in the 1988 film Die Hard, in which Joe Leland's name was changed to John McClane. The object of heroism was changed from his daughter to his wife, and Claxon became Nakatomi. Boom! I just learned this a couple of weeks ago. Die Hard is a sequel. Who knew? I should watch this movie, man. I like Old Blue Eyes. But yeah, there's the original Bruce Willis. See, this is why you come to the stream. You get your mind blown. You get factinated. If I pull up, I shouldn't have closed it. Control Shift T. There we go. So if I pull up Die Hard again, 1980 American action film, directed by John McTiernan, written by Jeb Stewart, and yada yada, based on a 1979 novel Nothing Lasts Forever by Roderick Thorpe. Stewart was hired to adapt the novel in 1987. His first draft was greenlit immediately. Yada yada. They talk about here we go. As Die Hard was based on the novel sequel to the film adaptation of The Detective, the studio was contractually obliged to offer Frank Sinatra the role. Sinatra, who was 70, declined. The role was offered to various major stars. It was basically passed around to everybody in Hollywood, who all said no. Until they got to some guy who was on TV. And they were like, hey, you're the last person in Hollywood. We haven't offered this to. And then Bruce Willis took the job. So there you go, man. There you go. Ain't that amazing? I think that's pretty amazing. Let's see. Okay. I don't even. My face when I have no face. You know, you're like this guy right here, man. He's like wearing that mask because he also has no face. Actually, he probably has a face, but it's hidden. The faceless face. Now, one thing I did want to just kind of bring up case you didn't see my video from earlier today, Diamond went bankrupt. The former comic book distribution monopoly, who no longer distributes really any comic books, is going bankrupt. Who could have guessed that a company would go out of business when their 5 biggest clients, or suppliers, I guess, left? I didn't know it was so bad for them either. I thought it was just Marvel and DC that had left, but no, apparently like Image, Dark Horse, and IDW also got out of working with them. So I think I misspoke a little bit in my video earlier today because I didn't know at that time. So yeah, that's interesting. I don't know what this means. I don't know what things are going to look like in the comic book world. A lot of small publishers are going to have a very interesting time, and a lot of stores are also going to have a very interesting time. And I mean that interesting in the sense of, may you live in interesting times, you know? Also, I just want to congrats that Mr. Pellegrini here at all of his G.I. Joe swag. But I have to wonder, I have to question, you know, does he have G.I. Joe issue number 48 signed by Sergeant Slaughter? Did Sergeant Slaughter put him in a Cobra clutch? These are the things I don't know. These are the facts, the realities, for which we have no questions. And, you know, I'm going to tease him about that on Twitter later. All right, there's my free stuff, a couple of bonus topics. So I went to the store today, and I actually had no books on my pull list. That teaches me the 1 week I don't look at the freaking email to see if I got any freaking stuff in the store, and I don't have any stuff in the store. Kind of a bummer. So I was walking around the store, and I saw something that caught my eye. Now, for a long time, but I don't know how long a long time is, but for a while, there's been volume number 7 of this manga series sitting on the shelf. Well, today, magically, volumes 1 and 2 appeared on the shelf. I've seen the anime. I've seen the animated movie. I've seen the Spy and Family voiceover of Mission Impossible commercial, which I couldn't understand because they were speaking in Japanese, and I don't speak Japanese. Well, now I'm going to get to read it. And I think this will be very interesting for me because comparative media is kind of a fascinating topic. How do you approach the same story or similar stories in different media? So I'm pretty excited. One thing I wish Marvel, and DC for that matter, would do when they're making their movies is adhere just a little closer to the comic book, so you could actually get like that kind of comparative anatomy of the story in print and the story in film. And I guess I've been interested in this stuff ever because I'm trying to say 3 things at once. I've been interested in those kind of like comparative things because way back when I was an undergrad, I took a class where we read the novel Dracula, we read the play for Dracula, and we watched Bram Stoker's Dracula. We did the same thing with 1 or 2 other stories over the course of that semester, and just seeing how different adaptations were made, like Lusa and Mina getting like swapped around in the play as opposed to what they were in the book. Like, that was really strange. Like, why do you need to do that? I don't know. I'm not the guy who wrote the play in the 1920s. The play being where Bela Lugosi, of course, was originally cast as Dracula. So, this is going to be fun, man. Next couple of weeks, we're going to be reading us some Spy and Family. I still got to finish reading this Lovecraft manga over here and do some more reviews about it. But the manga looks like a hoot. I mean, I'm seeing scenes in here, and I'm recognizing like when this happened in the anime. There's a couple other places where I have I've seen the anime and I have like the manga. Like I got a volume or 2 of the Evangelion manga. I got a volume of Ah My Goddess. love the panel I opened up to. Hope it's a scene where Anya and Yor morbing. I think that was a later volume. You know, maybe if I get up to volume 6 or something, that'll be in there where Anya's morbing out and Yor's morbing with her. Oh my gosh! Yeah, this looks like it's gonna be fun, man. Just kind of flipping through it. It looks like the manga and the anime are paced about the same. So, I'm going to be fascinated. So whenever we get to do some reviews of this stuff, expect me to talk about the anime a lot and do comparisons with the anime about it. I don't see how I could look at this stuff any other way. Alright, you guys got any last minute comic booky comments? Otherwise, I think I'm going to take a quick break and go get a drink and then fire up City Heroes. We'll see if anybody's got anything to say. Also, in case you don't understand the pinned comment, as soon as I slapped down the New Warriors Annual number 4, XLG was like, not Psionics, like I'm still talking about it. I'm reading, oh, look at that, New Warriors 4, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And XLG's like, not Psionics. So, you're still reeling for the Die Hard revelations. All right. Beautiful. I knew I could change your life. Hopefully for the better. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm going to end this as a video for YouTube. And we'll keep the stream going here. We'll get the Street Wars trailer on. So you got, you know, the most amazing thing. It goes beyond Spike Lee, right? It goes beyond Spike Lee. So I will see you all momentarily. Bum, 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 bum. He hit it. He hit it. Damn, that's fast.